every year after this year.
It would probably be more. Right
Or
now,
more.
This assumes using the 2
To that
million
rate.
we're doing this year.
I mean, you've got to look at the future too. You can't just look at this year.
I guess that's what we were saying all day.
Right. So, if you take it out of the fund balance, then it's going to affect the increases over the next few years. Or
That's right.
if you leave it alone, let the fund balance stay where it stays. This franchise fee seems like the easiest way to go for me.
Well, like the mayor said, if there,
But it's the fares.
But you can't, I don't know how that's going to pass either, because the statement was made, nobody's going to support more spending without a concurrent cut. But raising the franchise fee's not a cut. That's no different than raising the property tax. It's just a different tax, but everybody pays it.
not everything.
They have the choice to pay it, though, Mr. Mayor. They could say, I don't want cable. If they don't like the cable price, then they can do it or something else. That's an option.
Well, television is one of the simple pleasures for those on
Well, yeah.
fixed income. And
There's cable, there's satellite.
not
there's all
everybody
kinds
has
of
cottages
options,
or trips to the Bahamas to go. So I don't know. I mean, that's...
Would you support the cable fee, Mr. Lamont?
No, I really am not comfortable with doing that. It seemed to me that was an issue that we resolved in the past, and I think staff has provided 2 other, real viable options here for us.
Rating the fund balance.
But it's going to recur. That's a problem. It recurs next year.
Then
But we've talked about.
the CE2's dropped.
Not necessarily.
And then there's the other option, I think that Councilman Smith is more comfortable with. And I don't know how Councilman Clark feels about it.
I already said, if you're talking about raising the tax rate, no, I'm not for it.
You're not raising the tax rate.
It's still a considerable decrease over last year's.
Lessening it from 27.
Well, why would you be for raising that, but not raising, you're for raising a smaller decrease in taxes, but you're not in favor of franchise fee?
Right.
Well,
Where's the big difference there?
That's what I'm asking.
Exactly.
Well, what's happening though is that figure is still a decrease over last year's budget. And a franchise agreement, should it go to 5%, and I know it's not, it's not assessed to everyone because not everyone uses cable, but still for those users, that is an increase.
But guess what? By keeping this the way it is, you're giving all the city taxpayers, all people that own property,
By keeping
that
what the way it is.
by not increasing the tax levy.
Well, by lessening the decrease.
Right, by
lessening
lessening the decrease. So everybody that owns property in this city benefits, okay? With a franchise fee, you've got a lot of people that are renters, so on and so forth, that don't own property. So you're saying, let's hit the ones that own property and not the ones that rent.
What should pay sales tax on a cable bill too?
Yeah. And like I said, my first choice is the fund balance. And I know everyone gets scared and people use terms like rating, and I'm not convinced. In my personal opinion, that's money that we've collected over and above what's necessary for operations. And
Then why don't we appropriate the entire fund balance issue?
I'm not
Do you have a problem
suggesting
with
that. I'm not suggesting that.
Okay.
We're talking about a CE2, and I'm not suggesting that.
You're appropriating a third of it, basically.
Well, it's an option that staff
Well, that's
provided
what it
to
says.
us, and so you have to make the decision. Is what you're going to appropriate it for important enough to do it? In my opinion, it is, because of the condition where we are, and I do not believe that it's going to have that negative impact in years to come, based on the fact that, again, we've talked about changes within, and this is the thing, with government, this fund balance.
So everything that Mr. Moses said
Doesn't mean anything.
doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
Right, so what we have here is a majority of the council feels A budget should be prepared that has a CE2 in it and a tax rate of 25.81%. Am I now correct?
Or we could do the franchise fee.
I'd say the franchise fee, that's my choice.
Does a majority of the council favor a budget that reflects a 5% franchise fee and a 27.31% tax decrease? Is that the majority?
My original feeling is keep it the way it is.
You want the franchise fee, you want the franchise.
Keep it the way it is.
No C2, you just keep it the way it is, and you professional services.
Are there 3 votes to raise the franchise tax? Whenever the resolution comes before you, would you vote yes on it?
If we were gonna do the CE2, I'm not gonna rate the fund balance. Either that or the 25.
Do you vote yes on the franchise tax? No. So the franchise tax is out.
Okay. So if you're gonna do the CE2, then I say 25.8.
I say drop the CE2.
I'd say the 25.82, so.
If you're not gonna do 25.8, then drop it.
Right.
Mr. LaBeouf said.
You were comfortable with the 25.8?
Yeah.
Okay. And like I said before.
Or drop the CE2.
Yeah, I'm comfortable with the 25.8 based on the fact that I think we have a serious conditions that need to be addressed.
Okay.
And I'm not going to jeopardize.
So you're
that.
putting a
And
CE2 in.
with all that said, Mr. Mayor, are we going to guarantee that project's going to be done next year?
Engineer.
No guarantee.
Guarantee it's going to be designed this year.
Okay. But are we going to do it? Is it going to be done in the year that Mr. Clough wants it to be done in?
As soon as that person's hired, that's their first task. And we would set milestones to where we could get that out to bid by the budget year it's in, which I assume is moving back to...
Yeah, if it goes to 08, 09, we'll bid it out probably late fall, 08. For construction in the spring of 09.
Okay.
Because you can't.
So it'll be an 09-10 project then.
Question on the capital reserve fund report. Just a question on the capital reserve fund report that you gave us. Several communities there with zeros in there. Does that mean that they have no fund balance?
No.
These are
Capital reserve.
reserves.
Just capital reserves. New York State Government Finance Officers Association, I contacted them first, see if they had a database indicating what other municipalities maintained a capital reserve.
I see.
They in turn contacted the New York State Office of the State Comptroller for me, who did a search of the annual audit, annual financial documents that are filed, and generated that data report. The ones that are zero, the State Comptroller's email indicated due to their fiscal years being December 31st, the 2006 reports aren't due until May 31st of this year.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So they may still have their numbers in there. Don't
Just
know.
we don't have access.
So we can say. Up to you.
Okay, so we have 6.
Well, I'll say this, rather than seeing Mr. LaBeouf raise the taxes, or excuse me, decrease the increase, I'll go with the franchise fee rather than, since Mr. LaBeouf wants to raise or decrease that we're going to give the taxpayers, I will go with the franchise fee.
All right. So we're back to the franchise fee.
Back to the franchise fee and back to the 27.3.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
Well, I assume
And that's the CE shoes in there.
that sacrifice.
All right.
All right.
Next issue, Councilman LaBeouf, hit us with it. And we're going to get the funding for it.
Next issue. Historical Society.
I think we're done for tonight.